And as always, I have placed a link in the description down below if you'd like to acquire one of the systems for yourself or as a gift for a loved one. Also, if you're new here to the channel, I review cool car gadgets and other accessories that I find for your car. So if those are the kind of videos you like, make sure you subscribe by hitting the button down below to see more videos like this. First off, you get this LCD panel, which has a screen which is roughly about 4.3 inches in size. Now, this size is pretty good in terms of its compactness. And here's what the reversing camera looks like. The camera is high definition and is also waterproof, so it's okay for it to be on the outside. And that is because it's gonna be installed right on top of our existing license plate, either in front of the car or in the rear of the car. Simply remove the screws and then I put this on and then reinstall the license plate screws and I am done. And the camera can also be aimed up or down and can be locked in place to give us the best possible view when backing up. And notice this too, it has been equipped with two LEDs that will provide additional light, again, just to help light up the road and help us to see at night. It's powered by the cigarette lighter adapter plug, and I like that they included a little USB port in the back. So not only can we power the system, we can charge our phone. That is a good idea. Now, to connect the rear camera to the front display, they included this very long cable. This cable is approximately 10 meters in length, which is about 32 feet in length, more than sufficient for most cars and trucks. Now, if for some reason you decide that you don't want to use the cigarette lighter adapter plug, that you don't really care for the USB port, you could also connect it directly to the fuse box of the car with this little cable that they included. And if you're curious to see how the camera looks like from the outside, I have mounted it right here on the license plate, but it could also be installed right here. Now, the wire travels up into this is a little reversing light for the car, so I just fed the wire through there towards the inside of the car. Now, this is going to vary from car to car on how you make that wire go into the inside of the trunk. So people actually drill holes. I don't. I always like to use an existing space where I can squeeze the cable and make installation easier for me. And here's a VM1 reversing backup camera system. Now, this is going to turn on automatically every time I turn on the car. I'm going to turn it on manually by plugging the cigarette lighter adapter plug, and there it is. Now, they are reversing guidelines. Now, this is really important because when I back up, these guidelines are going to help me to stay away from hitting the curb. They're also going to show me how far I am away or how close I'm getting to objects. So, for example, this fire hydrant right here, let's pretend that's a car that I'm backing up into this car. As I get closer to that fire hydrant, I'm gonna know, okay, blue, I'm close. Green, I better slow down. Yellow, I'm getting awfully close. Red will probably be too dangerous. So it is great to have those reversing guidelines. But what if you wanted to lower the brightness so it doesn't distract you at night, or increase the brightness so you can see better in the day? You can click on the back and you can increase the brightness, you can change the contrast, and you can change a couple other things like the saturation and whether it looks bluish or reddish by changing the hue. Let's also imagine that we install the camera upside down. I can flip the image in the monitor upside down to correct for my rear camera being mounted upside down. I can also flip it. Now, why would I want to flip the image? If I mounted the rear camera in the front, I need to be able to flip it in here to show me the correct view. So I like that they added that ability to change the views directly on this monitor. And if you recall, when I show you the cable that connects the rear camera to the front display, I pointed out a green wire, and that green wire, it is optional to be connected. What happens if you connect that green wire? Well, let's look at the display. I have connected the green wire, and as you can see, there are no longer reversing lines on the screen. What the green wire does, it connects to the rear taillights of our car. So when I put the car in reverse, now the guidelines appear. Now, this is kind of helpful because the guidelines will disappear when you're not reversing. But at the same time, do they really bother you if they're there all the time? So I don't know if it's worth it to connect the green wire just to make the car guidelines come off and come on again. You know, again, it's an option. I'm glad they included, but there is one small benefit to connecting that extra green wire, and that is this. You can now change the shape and style of those guidelines. Notice how there are different arrangements of those guidelines. Why would you want to change the shape or style of them? Well, there are some odd car sizes that will require or will benefit from you changing that shape size, so they better represent the distance between the vehicle and what you are trying to back up into. Now, the static guidelines that come up when you don't connect the green wire can still be adjusted, and I do that by tilting the camera in the rear of the vehicle until they line up with the sidewalk. So it is nice that we can do it from the screen, but I can also do it without connecting the green wire. And as a side note, you'll notice that I mounted the screen really high up in my windshield. I did that just so I can film it. Again, the advantage of having those two mounts is that we can place the screen anywhere in the car, and ideally in a place that does not block our view for us to drive, and still be able to use it as a backup system. And here's what the VM1 system looks like at night. Pretty good visibility. Now remember, some of the light is provided by the car backup lights, but there is additional light being provided by the reversing camera system with those two LEDs that I showed you earlier, which allows us to see enough at night to be able to back up safely and avoid hitting anything. And that was the VM1 backup camera system by Veclesus. If you guys have any questions regarding this system or how I installed it, please put that in the comments down below. And remember, I put a link in the description down below if you guys want to look at the system further. And if you found any part of this video helpful, please hit the thumbs up button to support the channel. And I have a lot more cool gadgets and other cool reviews for car products for car enthusiasts like yourself. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.